Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. So I am headed to near Where's Valley, Tennessee to work on that Bow and Arrow. I got a call, gosh, it was probably, first time in contact might have been 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe longer. This guy's, I don't know where he lives, he's out of state. He's got a cabin up here, and Bow and Arrow is broke, and wanted me to fix it, and I'm never really excited about going to somebody's house and fix their pin. I always kind of try to come up with a different solution if I can, especially if I can get them to bring the game to me. That's what I really want. Short of that, I'd rather go pick it up and bring it to the shop and work on it. Especially like this, it's an EM or any game that hasn't been serviced in a long time, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of repairs. I'd rather do it at my shop. Than it's usually cheaper and easier, and everything about it's better if I've got the game at my shop. You just like doing work on your car, you know, if it's a small job, yeah, somebody can come over, but even then nobody's going to come to your work. Hardly anybody's going to come to your house and work on your car. You got to bring the car to them, or have a tow truck take a break to them. Pinball machines are, I don't know if the car's drivable, but a lot of cars are not drivable. You still got to tow them, and it's easier to move a pinball machine than moving a car that's not drivable. In any case, so I'm going to this cabin. Actually, getting the game. Sometimes the games in and out of the cabins can be a problem, because if it's in a bedroom, because the doors are skinny. That's the other side. So I don't know what's wrong with the game other than it doesn't work. I think he said something about the ball doesn't shoot out, or it doesn't advance players or something. So probably a ball unit, player unit kind of issue. It's probably hadn't been serviced in like forever. So I'm headed there. I'll see what I get. I brought flipper rebuilds parts. I bought rubbers. He did send a couple pictures for the rubber of the game, and I could see that the rubbers looked pretty crusty. I mean, you can't tell the crustiness, but they looked yellowed. They've got white rubbers, and they weren't very white. So anyway, I've got about 14 more minutes to drive, and then we'll see what we've got.
Mile, turn left to stay on Walden's.
And if any of y'all were thinking, I hope he brought some fuse holders, because that's a Valley. I absolutely did remember to bring my fuse holders, and I'm expecting that the fuse holders, if I touch them, the little lips are going to go bleep. So
turn left to stay on Walden's Creek Road.
Yeah, okay, I got you. So I'm prepared for that contingency. And
continue on Walden's Creek Road for 3/4 of a mile.
All right. So I just got here. That's what the game looks like. Let me turn off the light. It's kind of glare. You see the rubbers are indeed pretty crusty. Some worse than others. But there's an interesting thing. There's a ball there, and there's at least 3 or 4 more there. This is not a multi-ball game. It should only have 1 ball in it, so I don't know what that's about. I don't see how that accomplishes anything, really. Maybe if it's not kicking balls out, but if it's not kicking one out, it's not going to kick 5 of them out. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So don't have a key, and the door is indeed. Oh, it's not locked. Okay, I thought it was. I yanked once. Somebody's already pried that open. So okay, so we have access. Oh shoot, let's turn it on. Is it plugged? It's probably plugged in. Maybe it's not. It is plugged in. So I've got nothing. Well, let me get the glass off, check some voltages, see if the fuses are in there. Fuse holders, probably bad fuse holders, if nothing else. I'll get back to it. So I got the game opened up. There's the fuse holders. And yeah, I haven't even touched them yet. You see that one's just, you see it's already splayed out. I think it is, maybe it's not. Yeah, it's totally loose. Not sure which one that is. 10 amp. That's the solenoid one. Just for giggles here, we'll do this number here. I see them like this all the time. So anyway, for sure I'm gonna have to change that. I still don't know that I've got any voltage to the gain. Get my multimeter out and start see if I've got some voltage. Well, I figured the first thing's wrong with it. This fuse, although it's good, so that's I cleaned that off. This is the line right there. So that's a fuse for the whole game, and I have continuity through the fuse. So I put my multimeter like, well, I can do it right now. Here, that. But if I put it on the leads here, no continuity. So the electricity's not getting through the connector. So yeah, the fuse holder's got to go. Got to get that fixed first. I did verify I've got power. I was down there with the multimeter. I was like, oh shoot, the lamp's working. So I swapped around, the lamp works to both of them. That's easier to try to get the multimeter leads in there. So I got power there. It's not coming through this right there, I believe. Well, it's definitely not getting through there. I don't know if it's getting to it yet, but I'm gonna find out real quick because I'm gonna swap that fuse holder out. It'll take about 2 seconds. See, 2 seconds, they're fused and they got the right fuses in them now. So let's see what happens here. I still got nothing. Credit button. What the heck? We dig around a little bit more with my multimeter. So I believe it's a glitchy wiring switch here. Watch this. So I don't know if it's up here. It may be. No, I think it's a bad. The ground is not connected. Yeah, I was just up here trying to look at these wires and I grabbed them and like all of a sudden it came to life. Yeah, see that it's that yellow one, I think. I do not have a switch with me, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Ground really is just a safety issue, and not much of a safety issue on these EMs because nothing's really grounded anyway. Well, shoot. I guess I'll take that out and see if I can see something that's obvious. I got this out of here. It's a double pole, double throw, so I think I could probably move both these to the other side, and this maybe the other two sides are working. So I'm gonna try that. Just move the yellow one down to this tab and the blue one down to that tab, and maybe that'll work. Okay, switching those to the other side. The switch is working now. So I'm gonna put it back in there, and maybe I'll even put the ground underneath the screw and ground this switch so somebody didn't get fried after it rolled off. Okay, I've been at this a little over an hour. Feels like I haven't done anything, but I've got reliable power, so that's something big. I got new fuse holders. I got that on the side that works, and it's rolling. Just gonna hit the reset because I've done it once. There were points on the score. So it sounded like it went through, and I was like, it never kicked the ball out. I'm looking at the out-hole switch. Been a lot of people's fingers down in here. That's just completely, so I'm gonna press and hold that. Kicking the ball out, I think it is. We're in a game. I don't know why this is still running. Got to figure that out. But before, I'm gonna just go through this. I'm gonna probably pull the play fields, clean all the switches, clean these units. I'm gonna turn the game off real quick. Just checking real quick. Let's see this unit here. Oh, that one has actually seems pretty good. Let's check this one here. The coin unit also seems very clean, and that one was moving. I saw that one's the feature unit. Kind of unique to this game. And it was running and the lights were going. I probably don't have keys to the back. I see a drill or a big fat screwdriver in my near future. So somebody did a number on this game. I mean, it's clean, like super clean. That said, this thing is not operating properly. Step it up, just barely. Step it up one, see if it'll go back. It's kind of working, but it's a little sticky. Match seems to be working. I'm gonna boot the game back up real quick and play around with some of these units. See if I can designate. Oh, I didn't look at the bonus unit. I'll be pinned in here. Seems to be all right. I don't know why it's running when I turn the game on. Check out these Jones plugs. Ugh. They're not too awful bad. It's gonna dry. But dig up. Well, I shouldn't. I am out of the dust. It's like chalky white. You know, I think it's galvanic corrosion. I don't know, but there's always a chalky white dust on these things. Otherwise, oops, shoot. So I'm gonna go through it, clean the Jones plugs real quick. I may make a pass. Definitely, that one's out of whack for sure. That'll never play. And take care of that bonus unit, the player unit in the back, and kind of see what's going on here. So I've got a problem here. Not gonna be an easy one to find. I figured out kind of what it is. So I'm sure it's a switch that's out of adjustment. That's all it is. Or actually, it's not. I don't think it is anyway. I think I've got a short somewhere that's not a switch closed that shouldn't be. Let me show you on the schematics here. So when you turn the game runs continuously without even hitting the credit button. So there's a score motor, and it could be any of these two sides. This side here has to go through the credit switches. I unplugged the credit switches, so I ruled out those 4 or 5 switches on those relays. So it's just these 4 or 5. Every one of these, visually, they're open. With my multimeter, I can make the control in parallel. Every single one of them is closed with the multimeter. So I've got to figure out, I can't see anything that's touching. I can't see a glob of solder. So at some point I'm gonna have to, I'm about ready to do it, start desoldering stuff, and just start desoldering the wires on these individual switches and find out when I get rid of one of them, hopefully the whole thing's going to open up, and then I'll know that's the portion of it that's giving me problems, and I can narrow it down and hopefully find that screw that's jammed underneath there, or an old glob of solder, or whatever it is. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I figured I'd try and start with the out-hole relay, because somebody's already been monkeying around with the other switch, is messed up. And one of the screws was about half backed off, so I knew somebody had been monkeying with this too. And I've already taken there's 2 banks on there, bank switches in that back bank, and I've got the point for the one in my finger there. It was out, so it was coming in and out, so depending on where it was laying, it wasn't always making contact, or it was making contact all the time. So I'm going to resolder that point in there, and that is the switch that actually I could measure it right now just to make sure I can see if I've still got continuity or not. I should not. If that fixed the problem, and turn my multimeter, I can measure it right. Yeah, this one right here. I'm just gonna set y'all down. Y'all can just listen. How about that? Well, I'll be damned. That's not the problem. That's just another problem. Well, that's clearly open, and I still have, well, this had to be fixed either way. I mean, that's not gonna be right. But I'm gonna have to keep, unfortunately, that means this is not gonna fix it. I thought that was gonna be it. Okay, I've narrowed it down a little bit. I desoldered that wire right there, which is that one of them that's in parallel. But these 3 over here are also in parallel, but they're daisy chained from this one. So basically, when I disconnected this red wire here, the red is daisy chained through from all these. So what that means is that I basically disconnected all 4 of them in essence. So I don't know which one was the problem, but I narrowed it down to 4. So I'm down to, from like whatever I had, I started with 7 or 8. Now I've got 4 to fiddle with here. Well, I think it's fixed, at least this short. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I heard something fall when I had to undersolder this so I could undersolder the common there to get this out. And when I picked it up, something fell. I heard a clink. So maybe there was a screw or something underneath there. I don't know, but I believe it's good. I can start a game, or I can turn the game on without it running forever. So I've got this unsoldered at the moment, but I was precariously holding that with my hand, and I believe the short is gone. So I'm gonna put this thing back together, and then I can start trying to fix it. It's getting a long ways just to get it to where I can get it in a state of where it's turned on and nothing's running. Okay, so I'll put it back together. It's turned on, nothing's going crazy. I got the play field out of the game, obviously. It's over here in the game, but I'm gonna throw it back in here and then start going through everything else. Finally getting ready around to fixing this switch. So that blade there needs to be on the other side of that, where my finger's touching. So it pushes this wire up in there, so when the ball hits it, it can push it down, push that blade into this blade. So I don't know how they got that on the other side of there. I mean, they were really wrestling with it hard to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna take this off, pull it out, put it back together. All right, I got that just a little bit better. I'm gonna take one of the 6 balls that was in this game. I'm gonna fire this thing up. Push that down. Okay, so that's an out-hole relay issue. It's different than what we had earlier. Or it's not. What the heck? this one's going to kill 3 things with 1 stone. I have 3 things on the playfield that are not working. My top hole eject, my bonus hole eject, and my out hole kicker. What's common all 3 of them? 1 switch, 7B on the score motor. So 7B, it's as big as I can get it on my screen. It could be a B, it could be a D, I don't know. There's a yellow wire on one side and a yellow and blue on the other. If I make it any bigger, not really. Yeah, it's yellow and blue. As far as that could be a D. I don't know. But it's yellow and blue. Number 7. And if we go down here to the score motor, usually they'll give us a diagram of which one it is. Where is it? Scrolling is not working very well. Well, maybe they're not. Ah, geez. Well, they're labeled right there in front of it, so if I get my head looking straight down, it's, I don't know. Looks like there's labeled from right to left without any. Some of them, I guess it's Williams, they'll have 1A, 1B, and so they're not really numbered 1 through whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's this one here. I just got through checking these, and so one of them's not making good contact. Well, it was a struggle. I got it booting and playing. Not all the features are working. Like you see, looks like they're not scoring. The pop bumpers are scoring. The 10-point chime doesn't work for whatever reason. But I'm calling it quits on this one. I'm out of time for the day, so I'm just getting over either the flu or a really bad cold. So I'm calling it quits for the day and heading back home. And yeah, this one would have been better to come to the shop for sure. This is more than one's work today. 1 day's work. I'm lucky that I even got it working. Yeah, there was a set. Well, so here's the thing. I was told that the game would boot and play the same ball again and again and again. That's what this card on here said. So this is a rental place, you know, it's up in the mountains. Basically, restart to continue once ball is lost. So basically, it wouldn't kick the ball out unless the game started up. So it wouldn't advance the balls from ball to ball to ball. I was like, well, that's usually not that big a deal. This had a lot bigger issues. I mean, it wasn't even, I had 2 issues like I had to deal with before I could even get power for the score motor to even run, to do anything. So, and then the short, it was like, yeah. So here's the weird thing, the thing that kind of blew me away. That's that the player unit in the back. Somebody had cleaned that, and somebody cleaned it fairly recently, much more recently than, see, the replacement of any of these rubbers. These things they're crispy. So it almost looks like somebody came in here and tried, because if somebody was doing that level of work, yeah, they're gonna clean the playfield and swap the rubbers and everything. So I think somebody else maybe looked at this thing, tried to figure it out, couldn't do it. I don't know. That's my guess. Either that or this thing was refurbished. There's just no way it stayed that clean. I just don't. I can't. Like I said, it stayed that clean. Then the rubbers deteriorated, and everything else, the unit stayed clean. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that's the case. Anyway, kind of a weird situation, but it's playing. So I think the people coming here, if they rent it with a pinball to play, they can play a pinball. You know, most people play pinball don't notice all the, you know, a double bonus or whether it's single double bonus, those kind of things. I don't even know if the double bonus is working. I didn't check. It may or may not be working. But those are the kind of things most people are not even going to notice either way.
But in any case, like I said, I'm packing up. I'm out of here. See you mañana.